guys? Welcome in. Welcome back to Above Ground World News, the most buffered, censored, unsubscribed, demonetized channel on YouTube. Ugh. Anyway, here we go. We made it to Friday. It's like a miracle every Friday. What month is this? Oh, it's August. But we have tornado warnings going all over the place. And it looks like, unless the wind patterns change, there will be no hurricanes on the East Coast or the Gulf of Mexico. They'll all be out in the Pacific. But we'll see. Anyway, let's jump into some news here. Alright, China scientists warn of global cooling tick-up, nature's sleeve. Research said sheds light on 500 years Chinese weather cycle that suggests a cool change could be on the way. Findings have no room for complacency or inaction. You know, this is the opposite of what the American fake stream, you know, the Clinton News Network, the MSLSD, and all them other news channels are trying to promote. A new study has found winters in northern China have been warming since 4000 BC, regardless of human activity. But the mainland scientists behind the research warn there is no room for complacency on climate control, with the prospect of a sudden global cooling also posing a danger. The study found that the winds from the Arctic Siberia have been growing weaker. The tree line has been retreating north, and there has been a steady rise in biodiversity in a general warming trend that continues today. It appears to have little to do with the increase in greenhouse gases, which may begin with the Industrial Revolution, according to the researchers. Lead scientist Dr. Wu Jing from the Key Laboratory of Cryogeology and Environmental at the Institute of Geology and Geophysics, part of the Chinese Academy of Science, said the study has found no evidence of human influence on northern China's warming winters. Driving forces include the sun, the atmosphere, and its interaction with the ocean. We have detected no evidence of human influence, but that doesn't mean we can just relax and do nothing. I guess what they forgot to tell you was, the climate control that's going on around the world. It's like the same coin with, two sides to every coin. And while that's going on in China, you got this coming out of the Time magazine. Why your brain can't process climate change. That's because of fake mainstream, lamestream propaganda news machine. Nobody's buying their BS. Last week saw the latest in a series of increasingly dire reports from the panel on climate change. The past July was the hottest month on record. BS, punctuated by intense heat waves throughout Europe and the Arctic, the same two places that have been getting mass geoengineering across their skies. It's all, man, we're coming into the 2020 elections, so they're going to be pushing everything but the truth. And we show the truth every night. We show that the U.S. Department of Agriculture is responsible for the cloud seeding. They're responsible for the 19 million acres of crops that have not been planted, which we're going to get into all that. I mean, they admit that they're cloud seeding. They admit that they're modifying the weather. Then you got Raytheon, you got the private contractors, the Texas License Bureau, Miles Research, the Global Climate Cron. I mean, there's so many companies out there, it's you can't hardly keep up with all the weather control. That is the climate change. They have their hands on the thermostat. So we just had a whopping 18 inches of hell accumulates in parts of Michigan. Anyway, we thought it was the hottest year ever recorded. But remember, it was the coolest July ever recorded in Texas. The only places that are heating is where the mass bunker fuel operations are going on around Greenland, around the Pacific, around Europe. It's just all, it's all lies. Let me close some of these out as we go. And that's why we're here. We're here to expose it. Hey, we got some good news, though. You can get some, with all the censorship of everybody on YouTube and all the mass camera operations, all the Agenda 2030, Agenda 21, you can now get anti-surveillance masks that lets you pass as someone else. We could all get like Mark Zuckerberg mask and walk around with them. Then if that ain't good enough, we got clothes. Anti-surveillance clothes, foil cameras make you look like a car. You know, I mean, this is kind of stuff that's we're going to have. Yeah, there is hot places. I mean, this is August. This is the hottest time of the year. Kansas City has not hit triple digits this year at all. Nobody in Missouri. You know, a lot of these channels out here, you know, promote like the flashlights and stuff. Man, we're going to promote anti-visual, you know, stuff they can't see us. We're going to put, instead of some flashlight that you need batteries, how about a wind-up flashlight, like a stage light, like we use when we do concerts and stuff. We got to have these little reel-up lights, no batteries involved, EMP won't affect them, all that stuff. Well, anyway, farmers prevented from planting crops on more than 19 million acres. This is coming out of the USDA. Agriculture's producers reported they were not able to plant crops on more than 19.4 million acres, according to a new report. Of those prevented plant acres, more than 73% were in 12 Midwestern states where heavy rainfall flooding this year has prevented many producers from planting mostly corn, soybeans, and wheat. You know, nowhere in this report do they talk about the report from June 2019 with the Texas License Bureau and the USDA and the private contractors about the cloud seeding operations that were performed all over the place. We got that video right here on our channel. The full version is over on the backup channel. Here, let me play a little clip. They admitted to seeding the storms that were already thunderstorm warned. Here, we'll just play a little clip of this while I get a drink.
In September on the 19th. As we know, from year to year, Mother Nature throws us a different hand, and there just wasn't any seedable convection early in the storm season of 2018. Over half of all of the storms that were seeded were single cell convective storms, 140 to be exact. And I like to look at the numbers of the single cell storms seeded because using Titan, I believe the numbers that Dr. Ruiz provides are most reliable when you're dealing with complexes or systems that have a number of cells in them. It's difficult to identify just what cells get seeded. That analysis is in this as well, but I'm going to refer largely to the single.
So this was the weather.
We've had a lot of cases where we were seeding storms that had no business being seeded. We were just kind of throwing darts, and we were seeing responses in some of those. So we are learning that maybe there's more opportunity with some of these. Maybe we don't even need to have a rain cloud. We could go work cumulocongested clouds that aren't really.
Maybe we don't even need a rain cloud. We can create rain clouds without a rain cloud. They even go on to talk about electromagnetic rain making with their Comanche plane. And, I mean, this is the United States Department of Agriculture at the Texas Licensing Bureau. And this was this year. They renewed all the licenses so they can continue to cloud seed these storms.
Distribute the seeding material in the clouds and makes it really effective.
Electrostatic spray application. So there you go, man. That's 100% proof that they're seeding the clouds. They're admitting to it. They caused the floods. They're admitting to it. I mean, how much more information do people need? I mean, you look up at the skies and you have crisscross patterns all over the place. We also have NASA coming out saying that they're testing different fuel mixtures. They've come out saying that the chemtrails today, this week, this month, are worse than all the aviation put together in history since the beginning of the first flight. We can look over on the worldview map. We can see the mass bunker fuel operations by these ships out in the Pacific. It's all man-made. It's man-made climate control. It's not climate change. You know, that's the 33 symbolism, the climate change. Well, anyway, the corn train wreck may be worse than forecast, U.S. farmers warn. Well, hell, we've seen this coming. We all know it's been coming. We've been watching what they're doing. We've been reporting on it. So I've reached my free article limit. Limited time offer, $6 for 3 months. I'm not going to pay for the propaganda. Anyway, this is coming out of Bloomberg. I'm not even going to go into that. So what's going on with some of the farmers? Look, climate change. They can't have an article without climate change. The U.S. farmers plant crops, but you won't be able to eat in the climate change fight. What they're doing is they're planting the radishes and they're letting the plants seed out, and then they're taking the seeds. They gave up on this year. There's going to be a food shortage to the likes nobody's ever seen. And it's not just from this. So right now they're stocking up on seeds. So we just had 700 pounds of beef and pork products recalled over possible human blood contamination. Human blood, huh? Somebody must have diced a finger off when they were cutting this meat up. This is coming out of Tampa, Florida. But they're not telling you what stores got them. So another story with the USDA. So Birmingham, Alabama-based U.S. Foods issued a recall Saturday after the facility learned an employee may have cut himself. I was right. He cut a finger or something off during production. Hopefully he doesn't have, AIDS or something like that. So the recall meat is sold under 4 brand names. Why so many brand names? Why can't it just be one? Stockyard Angus, Cattleman's Selection, other farms, SRA. No illnesses have been reported yet. Restaurants who purchase one of the recalled products are being encouraged to discard them. But this is the same company. If you just go back to December of last year, they had 12 million pounds recalled due to salmonella outbreak. Same company. Same company. This is why you have to go straight to the local farms, not to the processors. Now I got this link right here, which I'm going to paste into the restream chat, which will paste it out to every single thing I'm streaming on, but it seemed to have disappeared here. Where's my chat? Wow. Maybe I got to refresh it here. Yeah, I got this restream chat will post whatever I type out into everywhere I'm streaming, so everybody can get the messages and the links. Because now if you post the wrong link into your information, you can get a copyright strike. If they don't like the link, they're going to give you a copyright strike. So there you go. I just posted that. Should have went out to Twitch, DLive, Facebook, all of them. So you can check them. Right now we have a foodborne illness outbreak. Adulterated alcohol kills 2 more in Costa Rica, 25 dead to date. 5 ill in English. E. coli outbreak. Source not identified. Romaine testing downplayed facilities that chop what they're talking about with the romaine lettuces. If one bag is contaminated, it gets all mulched into hundreds of bags, so it can contaminate tons of stuff all at once. All right, floods, landslides, and woolly mammoths, how global warming is transforming Siberia. Here we go with the climate control is thawing the Siberian permafrost for the people and animals who live in one of the coldest inhabited places on Earth. The consequences are severe. The lab assistant reaches into the freezer, lifts out a football-sized object in a plastic grocery bag, unwrapping its muddy covering and placing it on a wooden table. It's a severed head of a wolf. You know, here's one thing. When they're purposely melting the Arctic, who knows what could come out of the Arctic? There could be some kind of biological plague, you know, some kind of animal, who knows? You know, they're extracting DNA from a lot of these things that they find in the ice, and they're going to try to revive them, and, you know, it's just going to be some kind of, you know, zombie apocalypse. So right now we have this article. Oh, that's an old one. I don't know how every time I get some of these old articles in here. So now there's been a mysterious substance washes up at the Harbor View Yacht Club in Ohio. They have no idea what this stuff is. Let me play a little bit here. Well, okay, good. I got the closed captioning on. Good. We don't have to listen to them. Something gross. And it's not the algae bloom. They're not sure what it is. They have no. They said it could be sewage. Who knows? All right, I'm done with the mainstream articles. You know, our kids are never going to know what a real blue sky looks like. Our grandkids, they'll never know. You know, and I'm telling you, man, there's going to be no hurricanes out here because of the way the wind patterns are going just north of the equator. Well, we have a water generating system that fired up right there on the border, right where the earthquake hit today. We're just watching this loop through. Yeah, definitely bunker fuel. Bunker fuel is killing tons of fish per day. So we can see we had tornado warnings in parts of Nebraska, parts of Kansas. Trying to get this to loop through here. They're just going to re-pop up. Should be popping up here anytime. Right here. Same place, same radar. Look at all them tornado warnings. Them are the same radars that we watched them use almost a tractor beam technology to steer the giant hail right around the next rad. They wouldn't let it hit the next rad. Got some severe storms up in the northeast. Let me go ahead and take that layer off. These are our watches and warnings. Thunderstorm warnings down in Florida, flood warnings. We're back in the flood warnings. Guess where? The same places that have been flooded all year. Let's go ahead and go check the composite radars. Yeah, they're definitely, let me take off these watches and warnings. Just take a quick look at these. I didn't get a lot of time to load a lot of stuff up today, so. In fact, we may keep this show short. There's another video I may stream over on D Live tonight if I don't get too tired. Seeing how I can speak freely over there and not, you know, lose hundreds of subscribers a day. Have all my stuff demonetized. Yeah, it's not buffering tonight, which is pretty wild. This is the way it should be every night. So, if this thing will ever load, it's weird. When the stream is running good, the web pages run slow. And we're just kind of watching these next rads, looking for manipulation of the next rads. All these new next rads have been upgraded to phased array, and then they can shoot higher and lower heights and angles. All right, so we got some kind of weird anomaly down here in the Bajas, but other than that, we're not seeing nothing really beaming too bad. You know, and what you notice once this loops back through, see how they turn the next rads down where they want the rain to go? Like, you just watch out ahead of this rain. They'll turn it, and if they don't want it to come down, look, they keep the next rads turned up. Like, they don't want the rain. Look, they killed the rain off right there. Now look, the next rad's turned down, rain's coming through. Oh, we need to slow that down. It's going too far north. That's how they're steering it. You got all the heavy metals up there. It's like a computer program. All right, so that's all looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and put this on the cirrus layer. We're going to get into a few other maps here. You know, they can use sound waves to affect the weather. Radio waves, microwaves, low frequency, super low, high. You know, it's so many things. They have cloud ionizers all over the place. Up in Idaho, they have mobile cloud ionizers that create snow, and they shoot rockets and all kinds of crazy stuff. The next rads are what your local meteorologist is showing you the moisture returns on your local news. Them are the next rad stations, the Doppler radars. You know, we're not even showing the military ones. You got scatter radars out here. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I show it all the time on the Climate Viewer 3D. You can put on all the stuff, and it's just too much to even look at. All right, so there's tons of cloud seeding out ahead of this storm. Got some down in California, all over Florida, out here off the coast there. You can see the bunker fuels in the light gray. If it's coming in clear enough on the live feed, see all this gray, real light gray. That's not fire smoke. That is bunker fuel. In fact, let me go ahead and pause this. Disable that. Let's pause this. And let's go take a look at some of the aerosols that are being deployed. Look, we're looking at grid patterns here over Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. This is how you'll see this every single storm. You'll see the mass bombardment of the sky, the plane tracks up in the sky, and that's the way the storms are going. It's better than radar. Now check this out over here, right below Alaska. See, we have tons of aircraft laying big old thick nasty chemtrails. They're turning into cirrus clouds, trapping the the solar radiation in, and then you got this big white line right here. This is bunker fuel. This is one of the most toxic emissions on the planet, and they're done by weather modification ships, cargo ships, cruise liners, any ship that is burning bunker fuel, which is the leftover thick goo of refining fuel. And they have to actually heat it up to get it to flow through the pipes to get it to the engine. It's disgusting. Supposed to be regulations on it, but they relieve the regulations because they say it helps battle the climate change, but it's part of the climate control. They're melting. Over the last month and a half, they have been just totally cloud seeding and bunker fuel up over the Arctic, all around Greenland. I haven't even looked over here today. Let's see if we can get this to load up good enough. We can spot some stuff. Look at this cloud seeding operation down here in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. I mean, it's just everywhere out here. All the way up in Canada. Yeah, see, so they're still spraying. Yeah, here's the big liners. Spraying all around Greenland. And then what happens is it creates these storms that head over to Europe. So it looks like France is getting bombarded, the Netherlands, the UK, they're all getting hit. They never get hit. One time this year. Same kind of operations are going off in Argentina, Spain, all across Africa, Iran, Russia. Everybody is doing it. Everybody is doing weather modifications. So we have a new spraying operation over Wyoming. That's going to be setting up the next system. All right, let's go check the earth now. Let me show you what I'm talking about the wind patterns. I know, I wish I could had more time to go watch other people's videos, man. I don't get the time. Hey, thanks out there, Bamboo. All right, so we're going to go all the way up to the polar vortex winds. Now this is the polar vortex winds. We're looking at in the southern hemisphere. This is going right over the Antarctic. Looks really normal. Look up here. This is the way it is during summer. What is not normal is the wind patterns right here just north of the equator. This is not normal. And the way we do this, we can go back to 2018, click apply. Now here's a normal wind pattern for August. You can see the polar vortex looks fine. Just a little bit of wind, blowing a little bit of the Sahara dust over. But this is a normal August wind pattern. So if we go back to now, look at this. This is an engineered deal here, and I'm going to show you. If we go to the temperatures, we go ahead and take off the winds. What causes the winds to be pushed down or pushed up is what's called an atmospheric compression or atmospheric heating. Heating causes the wind. That's what causes wind, is heat. And you can see this lighter gray if it's coming in close enough on the stream. There's a heating event going on all up here in the northern hemisphere, and that's pushing the winds down, so they're kind of staying just right above the equator. You have also the same thing down here in the Antarctic. You got a rapid heating event. It was really bad a couple days ago. And that's how they're like compressing everything, which is creating the wind, pushing the wind where it shouldn't be. Another way to look at this, if we go to the ocean and we look at the sea surface temperature anomalies, you're going to see there's no El Nino. I mean, the mainstream was pushing an El Nino all year, all winter. We kept saying there is no El Nino. And I'll go back to the last El Nino year, 2016. Just so you can see what an El Nino looks like. This is what an El Nino looks like. It's tons of heat at the equator. A La Nina is the cooling. So anyway, let's get it back on now. So there is no El Nino whatsoever. But where's all the heat? All the heat is up here where they're deploying the bunker fuel. They're deploying the chemtrails. Same place over here. The same two places that we're finding the bunker fuel operations and the aerosols. I mean, these line up exactly. Look at this heating event up here. There's a bunch of ionospheric heaters right there. And this superheating event here off the coast, it was actually right here below the Aleutian Island chain. It's starting to drift down. And of course, you still have Fukushima leaking. That's what this is. That's why it's a little bit high here. This is all engineered heating. We've been watching it. We've been documenting it. That looks like a little new one here. Let me back that up. Is that thing growing? Ah, look at that. It popped up out of nowhere. So you had super cold water right here. And this is right across from Peru. I'm going to show you what's right there. Now check this out. If I go up one day, our super cold still there, but look at this. We have a super heat anomaly. We're going to have to go show you what that is. What's that's from. We're going to show you what's right there. I already know what's there. And a lot of you might know already too. So we're going to jump over here to the Climate Viewer 3D. Let me copy that. Let me paste that into the chat. And my chat thing keeps disappearing, so I got to keep reloading it. All right, let me add some maps here. Change my base map just so we got a good picture of. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. Once that gets loaded, I'm going to post this link into the chat so you can see what I'm doing, what I'm using. So when you get here to the Climate Viewer 3D, you can click on all these different, you got live weather alerts, live satellites, history and science, pollution, privacy. That's what we're going to click. We're going to go to atmospheric sensors. And then we're going to add on we could put the Hart frequency, Hart array on there. But what I really want is the worldwide ionospheric heaters and scatter radars. So we'll load that one up. And you also want the digisons, unless I missed it. I mean, we're not going to add on the long base arrays or the, you know, any of that, just basic here. Here's the digisons. Okay. Once you get what you want on the map, you can close that. Yeah, I picked these solar flares up on Well, you can actually get that over here on Earth Null if you click the space. You at least get the auroras. Like it'll show you what kind of auroras are going on. And then the other app that I use is the RAM slider. All right, so let me get back to what I was talking about. All right, so right where this heating event is, right here, right off the coast of Peru, we have a super darn. We also have a Digison. These are huge facilities tucked away in the mountains. Let me go ahead and click on this. It should bring up a picture. Can I expand these pictures? Anyway, this thing is bigger than HARP. It's putting out 4.5 megawatts, super darn, in Jamaica. Then you also have a Digison down here. What these are for is bouncing off the high frequencies from like these scatter radars and ionospheric heaters. And then they can bounce them off into low frequencies because they come out as high frequency, then they can be bounced out. Now what I've noticed them do is you go from Peru and then you can go up here into Puerto Rico and you got the Arecibo. You remember this from the James Bond movies. This thing is freaking huge. It's bigger than a whole city, and they're building a new ionospheric heater inside of it. So if you take that one, you take the one in Peru, and then you could go up here to the HARP array and you could triangulate anything anywhere because you got all these Digisons, but then you got the real monster ones where the other heating event is. You got the Tromso isophonic heater. I mean, these things are everywhere. These are all kinds of stuff, man. Look right up here in the north. You have a scatter radar. This is the Polar Cap Observatory. The Advanced Modular Incoherent Scatter Radar is a new IRS that employs modular solid state phased array technologies. The AMISR facility establishes a new state-of-the-art for IS radar design by implementing fully electronic beam steering with a phased array of 40.96 UHF transceivers. The beam pointing capability is available on a pulse by pulse basis. You got all this shit up here right where they're heating everything up, and this is just a small handful of all this stuff. Like, I don't even hardly ever show HARP because there's so many other ones. When we go in here to HARP, it's not near as big as the one in Puerto Rico. So that's why I hardly ever talk about HARP. We got a super darn right here. What is this? What is this thing? Oh, just a little kind of mini system there. Some of these I haven't looked at, but yeah, there's all that. So you have tons of bunker fuel being deployed, trapping. The clouds cause heating. You'd think clouds cause cooling, but they don't. They trap the heat in. They trap whatever solar radiation bounces out. The rest stays in, then it's heated in. It stays in there like a blanket. All right, so let me go ahead and check that out. I want to put this over on the west because I want to see if we can pick up the bunker fuel operations. Whoops. Let's just go. I guess we'll try full disk first. And I probably need to put this on the micro physics This will give us a little good idea. Hopefully we can pick them up. And then I can zoom in on it once we see where everything's being deployed. So it's going to take that a minute to load. I want to thank everybody out there that shares all this stuff. Check Arizona. Yeah, you got a little bit of seating there, right there at the border. What do you need me to check there for? Yeah, so it looks like this chat thing I have is only showing DLive messages, YouTube, and Twitch. It's not showing any of the Facebook. Unless somebody out there in Facebook hasn't said anything, which I don't believe that. Oh yeah, there's a Facebook. Hey Brenda, thanks for joining us. Alright, so that's cool, man. I can communicate with everybody in one spot. Thanks out there, DLive, Butterflies, 76, Love Pugs. Brenda over on Facebook, we'll see you out there. Funky Blue, you're on the YouTube. Brittany's on Facebook. Welcome in everybody. Pink Lady, DLive. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing this information out. That's all we can do right now until we get enough people that are willing to get up and do something about it. Which that comment right there will probably just demonetize this video. And they also hacked my laptop today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it going because the boot system it won't boot up. Whoa, we got a little interference there. Let's go ahead and go a little, check this out a little closer up here. Cool, Cameron. I mean, that's what we're here. We're here to help. We're here to try to figure this stuff out. You know, I'm a normal person. I was doing normal things, enjoying life, and things were affecting what I was trying to do. I mean, I used to do astrophotography. I used to really be into the skies, and I'm like, why are the skies getting blocked out? What the hell's going on up there with the planes? We have an issue. We have a problem with planes creating clouds. What the hell's going on? And that's where it all started. Oh wow, we got tons of bunker fuel. See the squirrely lines, white lines there. So we just gotta let this kind of load all the way up, and then I'll probably have to go down farther. The dark blue lines that you see, these real dark blue, if they are coming in, that's the chemtrails. All the lighter lines, like the squirrely line right here, these straight lines down in here, that's the bunker fuel. The white lines are down at the low levels, that's like on the ocean. Then the dark blue lines are the chemtrails. And it's like clockwork, they do this every day. Hey Vicky, welcome in there on Facebook. Yeah, it's nice being able to talk to everybody on all the platforms all at once. Alright, let me go down a little farther south to see if there's still... Look at this rotation up here. This rotation right there. And then we get an interference. You know what we need to check? Let me get this loaded down a little farther south to see if they're still deploying the bunker fuel over here off the west coast. And then we're going to go ahead and load up the RAM slider. We'll check the poles. This is the only satellite data that I can find that shows real-time images of the northern and southern hemisphere. The only thing about this program is it just chews up the bandwidth, the resources. I mean, insanely. Like one time I fell asleep and this thing was just running, and it used a whole month worth of bandwidth overnight. That's why I don't use this a whole lot, because it will steal every bit of my data in one night. All right, so we got this going. Ain't no problem out there. Full bloodline, right cloud, love pugs, Fallout Shelter. Fallout Shelter does a lot of good videos over there on D Live. I don't know if you're on YouTube, but I've seen you put out a bunch of stuff there on D Live. Usually go live right after I get done. All right, so what we're looking at the northern hemisphere. We gotta let this load, and we can catch plasma, lightning up here. We caught when they do rapid heating events. I mean, I gotta load more frames and stuff for that, but right now I'm just checking it. So right now we're not getting any kind of plasma. Let's go ahead and check the southern hemisphere. Yeah, that's right, Chris. The evil military industrial complex for sure. Now we have been catching quite a bit of plasma releases down here, and we know the companies that are doing it down here. They're using the electromagnetic technology. No, that was not normal storms over Missouri and Arkansas, because that's where I live. I was in it. So we got a weird signature right here. What is this? I'm not seeing the plasma, but man, that is weird. There's like something overtaking the Arctic right there. And the wind patterns are not flowing that way. That is weird. Look at that. It just like gets blown over. All right, so I'm not seeing any of the plasma. And this is the only radar on the planet that we can get real-time feeds of the poles. You know, one thing you notice on all, it's always censored right here in the middle. I don't know that this one is. But you know, when they try to tell you that the poles are melting, you can check this. I mean, we could document every day the ice levels just from this satellite feed. All right, let me go ahead and shut that down before it eats up all the bandwidth. Yeah, we did the Arctic first, then we went down to the Antarctic. Oh, wow, we got bunker fuel. Look, here's bunker fuel being deployed right off the west coast. And then we're going to see it down here off the Bajas. We're going to get just the... Here, let me pause this and I'll take you to it here. So you see all these, hopefully you can see these white lines. Here's some more straight white lines. That's the bunker fuel operations, low level spraying out of the ships, burning the toxic bunker fuel. Let me go down a little farther south. Yeah, there's a lot of ships out there. I need to go a little farther south. We need to get down here. And how about right here? This ought to pick it all up. Yeah, you look, here's tic-tac-toe. You got like a triple tic-tac-toe board right here. This is all bunker fuel. This is the most toxic emissions, all these white lines that are in here, and I hope that's coming out clear enough. And what I can do is I can post this link, hopefully in, it may be too many characters, but I'll try, and it'll take you right to what we're looking at, and you can see it on your own screen. Yeah, it worked. I think. Yeah, there it is. It's on there. All right, so if you put that in your browser and you click play, you're going to see all these white lines traversing. That is the bunker fuel. That's the ships. And the other thing you can do, you can go to the ship tracking sites. I mean, there's tons. Look at these bunker fuels right here. And then the dark blue lines is the chemtrails. It's a double mix. You have a double mix right here, creating the weather, seeding it, seeding the atmosphere. You know, you go over here, you can't really see it. You can't see them. Sometimes you can put this layer on and see them, but it's all washed out tonight. So there you go, man. They're loading the sky up. And I can't remember what else I was going to show you. Let's just go ahead and check the tropical cyclone page real quick. Oh, and I forgot to see, this is where all the hurricane type systems are going to form. And I forgot to show you why over on the Earth Null. You know, on top of the winds that we were showing you, let me get that back on the winds. So we got these crazy winds going from east to west, up in the stratosphere, up in the troposphere. This is going to keep anything from forming as far as a hurricane. And the reason why is it's blowing the Sahara dust over here. Like, it's bad. Like, look at this dust. This dust is going to stop hurricanes in their tracks. And we've watched it happen all year. We've documented this all year. We're getting inundated wave after wave after wave of this dust. That's why I was saying this could possibly be the year of no hurricanes on the East Coast. I mean, look at this next wave. That's as far as I can take it out. And what we did, we watched these blow apart the few hurricanes that hit over here. You know, and the one hurricane they called Hurricane Barry, that was not a hurricane. It only became a hurricane for like 30 seconds or something. And it was way out here, but they called it a hurricane. That was a ritual name. I showed that in the video. So we might as well check the carbon monoxide levels at the surface. California's looking pretty bad. Northern California looking pretty bad. See the carbon dioxide, yeah, pretty bad there on the west coast. Now when you go and you look at the ship tracks I just showed you, this is the sulfur. The bunker fuel also puts out huge amounts of sulfur. These straight lines are picking up the sulfur that's being released by these shipping lanes. And what you're going to notice is all these ship tracks that we're looking at on these radars do not line up with the shipping tracks. They don't line up. There's no shipping lanes down here. They're going from Hawaii up to the west coast, from the Hawaii over to Japan, from the BC up to Alaska. I mean, you can scroll around. Some of them are lighter color because they're not as heavy duty. You see them all over the Gulf of Mexico here, straight lines. These are all the shipping lanes. See shipping lanes coming up out of South America, going up into like Portugal. See, that's how nasty the bunker fuel is. You know, and what they say is a cruise liner ship puts out 100 million cars worth of emissions a day. One ship. So anyway, things are going to be ramping up with the election year. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. Things are going to ramp up. They're going to keep pulling off these man-made weather events, pushing all the propaganda about the wars, pushing all the propaganda about the climate chaos, when in fact it's climate control. It's all done on purpose to push the agenda, the New World Order agenda, the Georgia Guidestones. Anyway, guys, I'm losing my voice tonight. Talked too much today at work. So anyway, guys, much love. We'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Anyway, we're gonna play a song called Rise. Then we're gonna play the fight song, and then we'll end it up with the victory song. And we'll catch you tomorrow night. Let me find the broadcaster here. Make sure you guys share this out. Make sure you hit the notification. And try to get more people to get involved. Be an activist. You are the resistance. We're the last of the resistance. Anyway, guys, much love. Here you go. Let's rise.